must use them discretion too. When you have a heavy rain going on water, don't go through it. 3 people went over there, but it's the first time that somebody died. Because whenever time it is raining, the river come down. This river named Duck River. Very powerful. But most of the people when they come here, what they normally stop outside and wait till the water dry. So to be honest with you, it's an oversight of that driver why really go through that water.
Enough people may really help right to say, draw them out for all, don't they say, So, but me never see this man tell say to drive in there this morning.
More time we have a log put right there to make people see that it's black. Especially the truck them with the load coming to and fro on the mine. So there's a chance.
More time you have trying to pass. And people park vehicle right as well wash.
This side of it.
Right and we know not to drive over here so. So the motor is a very serious situation.
You must make a drive over a bit right here, sir. Because right now when the rainfall, the community blackout, and people always want to take chance. And I would put the chance with water.
If you look across, you see a massive wall go beside Billy. Because when the river come down, it used to come through my property here. And I build that massive one, then you can take a look at it up here. So it stop the water, I see, otherwise the river will be running through my place now.
Welcome to Crime Time News and Entertainment with a Buzz. So the next thing that is popping in the news based on the video that we just saw, the start edited version because of YouTube's policy, don't want to violate. So pretty much a taxi man, he had 2 passengers. He was crossing a ford in a place called Hopewell. Hopewell is in St. Mary. Now what is ford? It is water, river water that is coming off the hill, and whenever it rains, it starts to flood and the force is immense. That means that you cannot cross the bridge. However, it seems as if this taximan decided that because he is not very good on the decision-making process, he is going to attempt to cross this ford with his passenger and himself inside that vehicle. Let's say that it was not a very successful attempt. The vehicle was washed away. The 2 passengers were saved. However, the taximan was not so fortunate. Now people, based on the accounts of residents in the area in Hopewell, they said, I told this taximan, please do not cross it. However, he did not listen, and because he did not listen, he lost his life. Based on what the residents are saying, this is not the first time. Every time that it rains very hard and the river come down, people can't cross the bridge, can't cross the ford. We've been without a bridge for in excess of 5 years. So therefore, what is the NWC doing? That is the question we would have to ask. So based on the accounts of the residents, taximan was forewarned. However, we know that the taximen, based on their driving experience in Jamaica, are not the best decision makers. So he decided that even with putting his passenger's life in danger and himself, he was still going to cross it. However, he was almost he was actually X and cross out. His passenger, they live to tell the tale. They are presently in the hospital recuperating from that incident. Now, people, when we ask the question, what is the NWC and the relevant authority doing? How is it that person's been living in this area and for 5 years they've been asking for some sorts of bridge? Where is our tax money going? Is it going in the pocket of the greedy politician? It seems as if that is the case in this case. Point blank and period. So the next thing that is popping in the news, unless you've been living under a rock, you would not hear about that multiple pie up in which 5 persons lost their life. 2 of them got injured in a Rockford, Pleasant Heights, which I think was once named Warwick Hill. Don't quote me on the name. So we see the politician, JLP and PNP, they are out and about doing damage control, doing their little PR stunts. So we saw that the wife of Mr. Austin Mendez, who was supposed to be the Don, they've been married for 30 years. He was 51 when he lost his life. Her name is Sharon Sampson. She spoke about how shocked she was in the fact that he came back, he was living overseas. In a video that I did, I said that he just received his U.S. citizenship. So you know that when you're a citizen of the United States, you can go anywhere and you can stay for however long you choose. If you are just a resident, I think the maximum time is 6 months at a time. You have to go 6 months, before 6 months, go back and then you can come back again for 6 more months. So it seems as if he had some sorts of plan to get oneness, unity in the community, bridge the gap of all the war that was going on. But it seems as if his plan was not the plan of some of these new generation or some other persons that wanted to take over the place, run the ground. I am also going to let you hear from the Popo, the SSP of the era in which he was working with, he was talking with, and they wanted unity. They were given all sorts of permits for party, dances, football game. Like I said, the place was supposed to be under some sorts of peace treaty. I am also going to let you hear of one of the family member, girlfriend of one of the other victims, the 5 that lost their life. Take a listen, take a look, and then I'm going to give my piece.
But to the rate of how things going on in Jamaica every day with these young people, yeah, that is what I fear all along. So it's like a fear, it just come true.
What was his objective? What did he want for the community? Because I'm sure he spoke to you about it, right? His dreams for the community would be what?
Oneness, togetherness, and love. And it's because of his love for this community that has caused this.
So the people here resented that? They didn't want that?
No.
Do you think that's the reason why he was shot?
No. This man is just an handful. I don't know the circumstances. Majority people is with it. With their peace and togetherness. Might be you have to have somebody as bold as him and as in love as him. He was here and trying.
Yeah.
You know, the football club over there, you know, getting youths involved. They have been getting the run, they have been getting the party, they have been getting the dance. No problem, no issue. So this one is a big surprise. I never see this one.
So the police present, everybody just get a chance now to kind of sit down and just think. And just sitting so it is called me lose my family tear apart. I mean tell us me sit down on the thing. The way I almost see everybody confused like myself.
So people, like you heard from the wife, 30 years of Mr. Mendez. Her name is Miss Sampson. She said that she is shocked. She's very disappointed because for there to be any sorts of peace in the era, any sorts of oneness, it is going to take somebody with an old school heart, old school soul. None of these new generation, it seems as if, believe in peace or unity or any sorts of tranquility. Most persons are for it. However, most persons probably know so if them talk about any sorts of peace, they too might also become some sorts of victim. You heard the SSP for the era, she said. She is also shocked, very disappointed, because they thought that they were making grounds. They thought that the unity was actually a dream. People, you heard about Martin Luther King. He had a dream until they took him away. Such is the case of Mr. Mendez, the Don. Call it a community leader, whatever they want to call it. You heard from a family member of one of the victims that lost their life. So the general consensus is that everybody was shocked. Everybody was awed. Nobody can believe it. I can't believe my eyes. I can't believe my eyes. Well, people, here is the reality. Like I told you, places like Rockfort, that is the epicenter of friend K-I-L-L-E-R. Family fight family, friends fight friends. It has been going on for decades. Anybody that knows the street knows that. So based on what I saw is that the farmer Don made a fatal error. He overestimated himself and underestimated the enemies, the bad guys in the coup d'etat. When it comes to this new generation, there's a song that says, can't cool, can't quench, and it appropriately applies to them. They are not taking any sorts of govern. Them no want no sorts of regulate upon them badness. Them no want nobody tell them what to do. They are operating like lone wolves, and whomever cannot get the FUCK out the way, they are going to get taken out. These people don't believe in peace, don't believe in setting themselves up to be vulnerable. And when they look at Mandez, they see him as some sort of old school person. He is going to make them vulnerable. He is going to make them gullible. When you are going up against this new generation of opponents, they themselves don't believe in peace. So them look upon this man as a softy, too kind. People take your kindness for weakness, especially in the badness. These people want that power. With that power comes the money, just like you hear Scarface say. So therefore, they want to be the big fish in the small pond, in the Rockfort, Warwick Hill, Pleasant Heights area. Because that being a big fish, meaning that you control all the criminal elements, you control all of the criminality, you control the extortion, you control the robbery, you control the hitmanism, you control just about everything as it pertains to badness. If they come to a Don that is old school, he is not going to co-sign on most of the FUCKRY that they want to do. So therefore, they seem as an obstacle. They seem as being obsolete. They seem as being played out. They seem as making them very vulnerable. There is no sorts of money in a peace and tranquility. The money is in chaos and catastrophe, and that is the way that they want to reign. So therefore, they had to plan some sorts of coup d'etat, point blank and period. So the next thing that is popping in the news, you've often heard me say there's always three sides to every story. Well, in this story, you're going to hear from the po side, you're going to hear from the other victim side, and then we are going to have to decipher the truth. Because in this story, they are polar opposite. That means that somebody is lying, somebody depends some sorts of drugs, or somebody is just totally crazy. I am speaking about an incident that occurred on Burke Road, that is in St. Catherine, at about 7 something Tuesday morning, where there was a multiple vehicle crash, including a Suzuki, including a po vehicle, and there was also a trailer, 18-wheeler, that lost control and almost KILL off the driver. I am going to let you hear from the resident side of the story. Take a listen, take a look.
You know, women in my broke red light, I go so. I want to know any plan and they have to go kill anybody, get cancelled to pussy clad. I mean, no women in my go so hard, brother. Mr. Me just pass 3 stoplight and I look at man, shoot past me. I'm looking at my review mirror straight in a trail and I see blood clot van go.
So how can they have the body?
No police and drive out in a trail and on the red light, my youth. And them drive out in the brother. Oh, that the policeman in a court come like in all dead, you know. Come like in dead, brother. I feel like I'm knocking the court still. The police knocking the court, man. I don't know where them a go on. Them a go on some operation. All this a car man, them all.
Because him like him inhaled somebody that put up and the police on the
Oh man, the man after the car gone to hospital.
And then the police like
So people, like I said, you heard the side of persons that were there and witnessed it, saying that the po is wrong. Saying that the po were on some sorts of mission, including some people from CTAC. Seems as if there was some sort of emergency. You hear the man say, him almost caused the 18-wheeler, the trailer or tractor for crash and that man for flip over. Because I don't know if he had on any sorts of siren, but he broke the red lights. Well, people, I told you that there are always 2 to 3 sides to every story. Based on the Popo account of the story, the officer was on Burke Road, headed towards Kingston, 7 something in the morning, so 7 something in the morning at traffic Tuesday morning. When he stopped to allow a pedestrian to cross, and the Suzuki that you see in question ran into his back and caused him to crash. Mr. Harrick Morris, that works with the St. Catherine Division of the JCF, was taken to the hospital. He had severe injuries. He lost his life on Saturday morning or Friday night, somewhere within. People, if you notice, while I was speaking, I was playing a video. Off a next angle of the crash, you could see the trailer, the 18-wheeler, and you could also see the Popo vehicle and also the Suzuki. Now, people, I don't know if these persons were not there or these persons are some pathological liars. But what I do know, the Popo's account and the people that were on the scene account are polar opposites. If the Popo is lying, then you know that Jamaica is in deep SHIT, because if you cannot trust the Popo to give you an account, and people, I have said it on many occasions, there are good Popo and there are a lot of bad Popo. What I realize whenever the Popo make a mistake, instead of trying to rectify the situation and giving the truth a truthful account, they try to cover it up in all instances. So the question we have to ask, if we can't trust the Popo, who can we trust? Point blank and period. So the next thing that is popping in the news, if you're in some sorts of toxic relationship, abusive relationship, maybe you might want to listen to this because the life that you save might be your own. Now you know that a lot of women are in relationship and them feel as if the man no clot them, if the man no cuff them, if the man no get them regular clottings, that means that they are not truly in love. Well, people, it seems as if one Mr. Zappa that comes from downtown Kingston, he goes by that same principle. Based on the information, it is said that him and his woman, common law wife, had some sorts of dispute, disagreement, argument, them call it. When he left, stormed out, came back, he came back with a bottle, don't know if it's a quart bottle or a pint bottle, some sorts of alcoholic beverage bottle, and also a tool. He decided that he was going to discipline his woman, so therefore him clot the woman with the bottle in her face, smash it up. He then wheel and pop off his stool and threatened that he was going to take her away. Luckily for that lady, he did not. He then grabbed her phone, fling it down on the ground, smash it, them call it. He then left. This occurred on or about September 19th of 2024. He was on the run for about a month or so. He was later arrested on or about the 24th of October 2024. He was officially charged for wounding with intent and wounding at common law and also malicious destruction of private property. Now, people, here's my thing. This lady must know that this man have some sorts of anger management problem. Whenever they have any sorts of dispute, she must have seen him rail up, probably give her a couple elbow in her jaw, don't know the specifics of that. But she knows the type of individual he is, because the average Joe would not run to his house, get kind of confused, make a dilemma decision if he's going to use a quart bottle or if he's going to use a tool or both. He decided that he was going to lend her the bottle right in her face, smash it up. So this would be my advice to women out there, especially in these volatile communities, especially with these criminal element type of character. And I am not saying that this is not happening in a Narbrook or Cherry Garden or Uptown era, but not to the extent in which it happens regularly, frequently in these places. I understand that sometimes it is because of economic reasons that you stay. Sometimes you're not gainfully employed. Sometimes you only come with your too long hand, the poems and your mouth. So therefore, the man seems as if he has the handle and you have the blades. But I am here to tell you, you should have been prepared for life as an adult. Because whenever you get in these situations with these men, that seems as if they own you, and you are supposed to do whatever they say as if them name Simon. Especially when them have anger management, especially when them have a reputation to be some sorts of gangster. Because I am sure that this man did not just go to some place and rent a legal tool. He probably had this tool that he is using. So therefore, he was out there doing all sorts of illegal activity. And it finally came home, right at her doorstep. My point is that whenever you can get the FUCK out instead of getting better, it is only going to get worse. Unless, of course, there is some sort of professional help, as in counseling. So I say this to say that I don't think that you should leave it up to this individual that has anger management problem to make a 180-degree turn or get some sort of intervention by Christ. Do something before something do you. Point blank and period.